Good morning. Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. I hope this Sunday morning finds you well. A little bit later with the video today, but a lot to talk about. First of all, let's talk about Friday. Friday's game was just what it was. I did talk on the live before the game. I said, look, let's look back at the pre-season. We're going to talk about this before we get into the Celtic headlines of this morning. But when you look at the way that the team lined up, people got rather excited about the fact that it was basically a run out for the youth team because a lot of the players aren't back due to international duties. One being Alistair Johnson and big Cameron Carter-Vickers playing in Copa America. Alistair Johnson's going to be away even longer, so he will not join up with the team until right into the middle of the United States tour of America. And then when you look at the likes of all the Scottish players, they've been off on holiday because of their participation in the Euros. Now, it could be the fact that Celtic are looking at a goalkeeper that's maybe still or just left the Euros, probably. And the Swiss keeper, he has been mentioned, as have many other goalkeepers. But there was one player who didn't get any extra time off and was standing skipper for the evening, and it's the one and only, yes, Stephen Welsh. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, God, Stephen Welsh, is this really the answer? Well, you've got to remember that Stephen Welsh did sign a new extension to his contract just last season. And then he got injured. Is this a big season for Steve? And I'm going to, let's hear me through with this one. Is it a big season for Stephen Welsh? Because let's face it, Gustav Lagerbielke looks as if he's going to be on his way out. He was injured for the game on Friday night. Big Marat Nobrovsky, or Big Rocky, we'll call it whatever you want. Big Nobrovsky, he got injured 15 minutes into the game, which is going to mean that he will probably miss out. Well, he will miss out Wednesday's game, and then he might miss out a game. So he's going to be missing part of the pre-season. Last season, there was a player, and people are going, just buy a defender. Celtic, just buy a defender. Buy a top-class defender. Last season, we ended up with Liam Scales getting thrown into the action when everyone thought that Liam Scales was going to leave to go to Aberdeen. This season saw Stephen Welsh captain the side for the very first time. It was a great honour for him, and he spoke about it after the game. Absolutely fantastic honour. And he just wants to kick on for this season. The manager likes Stephen Welsh as a player. And even though he's 24, it is about time that he starts hitting a game in his professional career. It is time that he starts stepping up to the mark. And people are going to say, he's not better. But is he any better than Gustav Lagerbielke? He's more trusted than Gustav Lagerbielke and Nobrovsky. That's one thing for sure, because that's why he got the captain's armband. But then you're going to say, like, who would have got the captain's armband, to be fair? Scales, I don't think that would have happened. I think it's going to go to someone that's going to be at the club for a long time. And the manager knows that Stephen Welsh will be here for the next 4 years because he's just signed that new contract. Another transfer speculation. There's even more speculation about Matt O'Reilly, who did only join back the pre-season on Thursday, hence the reason that he didn't play, or he wasn't even in around the squad for the game on Friday evening. Paulo Bernardo has been linked back to Celtic. It's suggested that the talks are ongoing with Paulo Bernardo, and it looks as if that will go through, along with the Adam Ida one. But are they improving the squad? We know that it's two players that done well for Celtic last season, but it's not improving the squad going into the Champions League. Is it going to be the case that this season that Celtic are going to get rid of some of the deadwood first of all, trim the squad down, and then just make sure that we've got a good enough squad to compete across all levels? But as Celtic fans, we do need to start getting in players that are going to at least hold our heads high in the Champions League. Paulo Bernardo, the Portuguese under-21, he's under-21 skipper, you have to remember. He does want to come back to Celtic, and it's just about getting the money. It's just down to the money situation. It looks like Celtic are going to go in with 4 million rather than the 3 million that they went in for the last time, but it looks like they're trying to get the deal done at around about the £4 million mark, where Benfica initially wanted 6 million. And it's unbelievable, because they had an obligation to buy at the end of the loan for 6 million, but they said, nah, he's not worth 6 million, he's only worth 4, we'll give you that for it. And it's just Celtic being Celtic. And hopefully an agreement can be sorted out this week so that he does join the club before the pre-season trip to the United States. Now, one thing that we did get confirmation of after the game with Ayr from Brendan Rodgers was that it was a chance to give fringe players and youth players to see what they could do, to see how they stood up to a game, to see how they could stand up to a game. Because when you go against playing a game of football in front of no fans to then going and playing in front of 5,000 or 6,000, I have no idea what the stadium held last night on Friday night. But the fact that it was a good run out. Forgotten boy Lagerbielke injured again. Celtic really need to get in a centre back. That is imperative. We need to get in a real good quality centre back. But then Brendan Rodgers will say, look, when you look at it, we have an abundance, an absolute abundance. When you look at the squad, we've got an abundance of defenders. So we really need to start moving people out. Will Celtic bring in players this summer? Of course they will. Will they bring in them before America? Well, hopefully they can get the Adam Ida one done, and maybe, just maybe, the Paulo Bernardo deal done this week. As for a goalkeeper, well, that's anyone's anyway. So Celtic being Celtic are back to their usual when it comes to the social media side of things. They're putting out happy birthdays to James Forrest, and even the Celtic Community Partnerships have said happy birthday, James Forrest. Everyone at the Celtic FC Community Partnerships would like to wish him a happy birthday, and that's brought to you by Driver Check Limited. A lot of them are sponsored things these days, aren't they? Stephen Welsh enjoyed a good game. I'm just reading through some of the Celtic headlines. Obviously, the big one is the fact that Alistair Johnson has got an extended run. New report says that Matt O'Reilly, a new EPL side, well, that's just more speculation, isn't it? It's just more speculation. A summer camp, a lot of the happy birthday stuff, James Forrest, happy birthday, James Forrest. That's about all that's going around on social media. There's no speculation. There we're at. Nope. No, there's not a lot of speculation going around. And that's the thing. There's no speculation about any new players that have been linked with the club, apart from the players that were there last season and a goalkeeper. There's not been any speculation about a left back at all. And that's probably the most concerning thing about this transfer window. Whilst a lot of people are talking about the whole situation with Adam Ida, with Gustav Lagerbielke, we haven't spoken about a left back at all. There's not been any sniff of anything about a new left back coming in. That's not going to help at all going into the season and going into the Champions League, because let's face it, I don't think Greg Taylor is the answer for the Champions League. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on the video. I might do a live later on. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the